Hello and welcome. My name is Mary Kate and today I am weaving Tabby. For reference, Tabby is also known as plain weave, the simplest of weaving patterns. This is when the weft passes over the warp in a basic over one under one pattern. My warp today is every other orange and white, which is what I will use to create patterns. Because this is the very beginning of my warp, I am starting by placing scrap fabric to even out and get my tension smooth. Next step is just using one color, white, to get a little plain weave going and check the warp for errors. I also will be weaving in my ends throughout this process, which is where I tuck in the end that hangs out in with the next pick. I did notice that I had an error in this warp, but because it's practice and it wasn't going to make a difference long term, I decided not to fix it. I did about 2 inches of white tabby to get my rhythm going, and then I switched to every other white and orange. It is still pretty gray out, but it's a little bit better, and I had some tea, so I feel a little bit more alive right now. But I'm just coming back to it. I had done every other of white and orange, and now I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to do it opposite. So I had been doing it when the orange half of the warp was up. I was putting white under it, and then vice versa. And now I'm going to do, when the orange half of the warp is up, I'm going to put orange under it, and it should create pretty distinctive stripes. So that's what we're going to do next. Here you can see a pretty clear distinction between the horizontal stripes of matching the weft to the warp color that is up, like orange on orange, versus doing the opposite, like orange on white. Next, I cranked back the cloth to make more room and started a pattern of white, orange, orange, white, starting with the orange weft up. This created a kind of faded stripes.
I then switched it and did white, white, orange, orange, starting with the orange weft up. This made almost an identical pattern, but the stripes were reversed. So instead of having a distinct orange stripe followed by a white stripe, there was now a white stripe followed by an orange. I again did a little bit of plain weave to separate patterns, and then I did white, orange, orange, white, orange, orange, starting with the white up. Once more, I did a little white tabby to differentiate between patterns, and then I did white, white, orange, white, white, orange, starting with a white up. This was a very similar as the last one. It was a reversal of the first pattern, but this time the stripes were predominantly white. I decided to do some plain orange tabby because I realized I had done white but not orange, so I just wanted to get some of that done, and then while I was working, I thought it would be cool to experiment with some basket weave, even though basket weave isn't technically a tabby. I started by doing just a normal plain weave tie-up, which I've got here, and then for basket weave, you would pass 2 weft threads through at the same time. So I just basically did double the amount of weft threads. I would just pass it through, push it back, and then I would just pass it through again, but make sure that it caught on the furthest most side. I then realized that I could pretty easily just change my tie-up, and now I have a proper basket weave, which is with 2 up, 2 down instead of 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down. So instead of doing every other, I'm doing every 2. And then it's the same thing, you just pass the weft through, you catch it on the farthest most threads, and then pass it through again. So you've got doubles all the way. I then wound back one more time, completely failing to notice that my apron bar was caught on the left side, which made my tension feel funny, but I couldn't figure out why. I kind of just felt like weaving for the flow, so I did some more orange tabby. I really noticed something was wrong when my boat shuttle wasn't going through smoothly anymore, which caused the mistake on the left side. But I am stubborn, and so I persisted through some green tabby just to change it up before I realized exactly what the issue was, and I fixed it. Now it's all in line and the tabby is done, so I am set up to start some twill in the near future.